There is a box on the floor. That box represents my head, and this presentation is going to show you something of what it contains.
Scary. Disturbing.
Weird. Raj. Nutcase.
Oh no.
Loony.
Weird. Other.
Strange.
Interesting.
Crisis. Distress. Personal decline.
Weird.
Nutcase.
Interesting. Confused. Paranoid.
Weird.
Raj.
Nutcase. Loony.
Weird.
Strange. Crisis.
Confused. Paranoid.
Disturbing portrayals of mental illness are common in the media. They have been identified as contributing towards negative stereotypes. In contrast, I represent the richness and vividness of the neurodivergent individuals in a life. There's no assumption in this work that these experiences are wrong. I'm offering a positive regard across a boundary of stigmas and uncover the truth that lay hidden there.
The emotional depth and possibilities of artistic exploration through the use of unconditional positive regard can reveal these dimensions. Reference: Rogers, 1967. Horton, 2014.
Analysis and feedback from the last works indicated that there was uncertainty between the transitions from structured narrative and chaos. The work here presents greater fluidity and confidence at mixing narrative and disorder. Here the protagonist enters an enchanted and haunted landscape where internal truth is upheld as something to be valued and explored, signifying what could be viewed as an alternate reality. Ghost is a video that attempts to represent dimensions of a personal reality that has been affected by post-traumatic stress disorder, PTSD. The condition is known to have long-term impacts on personality. An observed phenomena is known as emotional numbing, which is the brain's attempt to reduce the stress caused by traumatic memories. Reference: Frewen, 2006. Pacing was said to be effective and an improvement on previous work. For example, during the moment where I state, "That's the truth" in the dialogue, the video is slowed slightly as I drop the book, adding emphasis to this moment. The voiceover at the beginning of the video was identified as having impact by individuals in the group critique. That this was effective is noteworthy, as I wanted it to set the tone for the video. Repetition of scenes had a positive impact. Repetitions highlight a statement or moment and focus the viewer upon that aspect. The intention to incorporate trance elements was successful in this regard. The end sequence in the initial edit of Ghost was shorter, and it was decided to lengthen this in order to effect more absorption in the work. The calm that trance states produce is effective for inducing a state of deep absorption and lessens the effect of external distractions. Reference: Ullin et al. 2010. It was thought to be desirable to not add alternate clips of me throwing the book into the film, as the lighting of the original sequence interacted well with the chromatic range of the Heckle scene. A predominance of purple, black, and white affect a moment of intensity. The poet persists with the performance and commits to the poem's passion. The transition to the graveyard changes the tone to what is predominantly perceived as grey. The book becomes a key focus of the moment. The intention of the book is to represent the depth that can be accessed through trance and the mind's natural healing processes. The meaning of the book is not expected to be inferred by the viewer. Derek Yarman's The Last of England uses trance-like rhythms and changes of colour throughout. Disturbing imagery is rendered less harsh by this editing technique. Reference McCarthy, 2012. The alterations in pacing and speed of video are something that will be explored further for the purposes of presenting altered states or psychosis. The chaotic editing is a little demanding to focus upon in a film of this length. I think that in Ghost I have succeeded in blending surreal moments with conventional footage. The removal of titles has definitely enhanced the focus upon the visual elements. Berlin Horse, 1970, is notable for its repetitive rhythms and use of colour variation to create an immersive sensory experience. Lawrence, 2005. The video is effective at maintaining interest with a minimal amount of structure. Legrice's intention with the repetition is to draw the viewer's attention to the materiality of the film through the use of loops. Viewing the video, one is absorbed by the degraded imagery, and the attention is held upon its condition. The use of degraded imagery is creative, and the viewer is intrigued by the spectral quality of the image. It is interesting how Legrice creates fascination with simple images so easily. In the next work, I have attempted to experiment with presenting a more disordered sensory experience that utilises trance. The work has been partly informed by my research into trance cinema. Techniques applied by Jonas Mekas in his film Walden have been applied, particularly the cutting up of clips to create flickering. The work is based upon an experimental poem called Foxgloves. It's part of a series of poems I've made where the speaker is not perfect and is making odd statements. In this instance, we are exploring a fragmentary reality. Foxglove's trance was reviewed by the class, and there was common interest in the vocal parts. But these are thought to be too quiet. A colleague referred to this work as being crazy, but in a good way. The use of flickering footage was thought to be effective, and feedback was generally positive. This is something that I shall rectify, as the poetic narrative is significant in this work. Initially, I was considering translating the poem into a visual representation, as I thought that Ghost's able to present meaning with minimal narrative. Observing this, along with my ongoing research, has enhanced my desire to explore video and images as an intuitive language. I think that I have been able to demonstrate something that expresses a disordered psyche effectively. I think that this piece demonstrates an enhanced focus on video as a primary vehicle of expression. With this outcome, I have gained insight into how trance sequences can be effective for deepening the awareness of artistic expressions and focusing attention upon the artwork. Video has a depth that painting doesn't possess. A painting will have text permanently upon its surface. In a video, the titles can disappear as we go further into the content. I think that a video absorbs the viewer into the moment. The current work is conceptually related to the cinema verite style of documentary filmmaking that emerged in the 1960s. This genre focused upon capturing real life as it happened. Indeed, the French term means truthful cinema. Marguerite's 2016. In my present practice, I have recorded truthful representations of my reality. My work here has consistently expressed a vulnerability, enabled by my use of UPR. This concept is forming a non-judgmental and observational background in my work, and thus creates a premise that allows vulnerabilities to be freely explored. Unlike the raw realism of this genre, though, I am clearly using editing techniques to depict how the world is perceived internally by the individual. It's discernible to the observer that my films bear some resemblance to psychodramas. These films often portray psychosis in a distressing and unsettling way. They tend to alternate between depicting reality as it is and revealing a subject's internal states. Dirks, 2025. You have probably seen several films from this genre, and a notable example is Vertigo by Alfred Hitchcock. The scene foreshadows the protagonist's later breakdown. The scene is highly stylized and dreamlike. The bright colours create an engaging rhythm. Animation is also combined. The film portrays mental distress as an illusion that reveals the protagonist's trauma. This may be the case from the perspective of external reality, whereby people may observe things that don't exist externally, but from the subject's perspective, the experience is real and has internal meaning. My approach here is to present these experiences as something valid, that I can explore as an alternate reality, and not just revelatory of the person's personality. Requiem for a Dream is particularly notable for portraying psychosis as a terrifying experience that perhaps should be feared. The character's perception of reality is shown to be fragmenting into a state of confusion and distress. Though I contend that psychosis is often emphasized as negative, I recognize that psychosis can be disruptive and estranging for those that have to live with it. Pienkos et al., 2017. Feedback research and reflection have indicated that truthful representations of internal realities are impactful as artwork, in the sense of enhancing empathy and understanding toward people with mental health issues, leading to increased discussion and awareness. Early 2014, my attitude of positive regard and valuing the individual's experiences allows me to enter an enchanted and somewhat scary realm for deep artistic exploration. My art represents disordered mental experiences as valid and meaningful. I present them as a separate dimension of reality. I use the concept of unconditional positive regard to enter a haunted landscape where truth can be revealed that would otherwise remain hidden. Video has a depth that creates a visual reality where empathy and awareness can be enhanced. Thank you very much for watching this presentation.